That's just an update on a few things, and at this time I think we're going to go to Roger Brady, who's going to do the next slide. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. I have just a few pieces of good news tonight. This year we funded $25,000, roughly $110 per learner for technology, replacing computers that are obsolete, printers, various other technological advancements that we need to remain at the forefront. We would like to maintain that earmark for next year. So far, we have contacted and received donations from 130 families. Unfortunately, there's still 90 families who have not donated or pledged for the support of the school. And so we are continuing to work on that, as you will see shortly. Some really spectacular news this year, I think, is based on our mandatory parent meeting in September and calls that we've made since then. We've actually increased our donations to $57,000. Those are pledges, which is 2.5 times what we have received in the past. Last year we received roughly $22,000. And so those are promises. But what we've actually received is $39,400, which is 70% better than we did last year. Thank you very much, all of you who have stepped up. Yeah. We had asked in September that everybody would donate $500 per learner. So if you have 2 kids here, that'd be $1,000. Some folks gave $2,000. Several folks gave $1,000. Lots of folks gave $500. Some folks gave 10. So, you know, we're all over the map, 20, 50, 150, etc. Back on that last slide, the one point I do want to make is we still have $17,000 of pledges that we have not received. And as you can see from what Paul just said, it's going to be increasingly important that we close that gap and that we do receive all the dollars that folks have promised us. So next year, we're going to keep our target the same, $500 per learner, $114,000. We're right at halfway there this year so far, $57,000 pledged. And it was our first year, and we're getting our sea legs, and we're getting to figure out how to do this, and our behind-the-scenes technology is improving. So we're keeping that as our goal because we're getting better at it, number one, and number two, because we're going to absolutely need it next year. This year we're going to try to fund the reserve a little bit. Next year we're going to be funding, paper clips. So we really need everybody's help next year. Whatever Paul and the governing board are able to cut this year will not be enough, and so parent support next year is going to be even more important. But we're going to be sending out this piece of paper that I'm handing out to all the parents who are here tonight. And what this does, just so everybody understands, is it looks at whatever you've pledged in the past, that $57,000. We're saying, hey, you're going to pay it? Is everything still okay? And then we're also asking folks that you might want to consider digging a little deeper this year. Since we met in September, we have the capability now to accept Visa, MasterCard, debit, and credit cards. And so if you want to put $500 on your card, you can do that, and we can take care of that and keep it in a secure environment. Or you may say, gee, I still want to do $50 a month for 5 months starting, in April. Folks here are going to look at those forms now, and I'd like you all to look at them when you receive them in an email in the next few days. What that may mean, heaven forbid, we can't do without our creature comforts, so it may mean 1 less cappuccino a week, folks. That's $3 times 50, that's $150, okay? A few less meals out, that's $50 a pop, no matter how you do it. Or you might want to go back to basic cable, Somebody once said you can tell a person's priorities by looking at their checkbook. And I know what I spend on my cell phones, and I know what I spend on cable, and I know what I spend here, and I could probably do a little better here, since my kid is supposed to be one of my most important priorities. But anyway, I'm going to turn it back to Paul, and he's going to wrap this thing up.
We'd just like you to think about this, and that is, you know, we have a great school here, but this school does face an $81,000 problem next year. The slowing economy is forcing the state to reduce school funding, no matter what it exactly ends up to being. And of course, at the same time, the federal government is going to mail you a check, you know, to stimulate something. And we'd like to ask you to consider stimulating your school. You know, a family of 4 is going to get mailed a check in May of approximately $1,800. And before you deposit that check and spend it elsewhere, we'd like you to seriously think about making a major contribution to your child's education for next year. So with that, I'd just like to thank you all for coming, and I'd like to thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me or Roger. And thank you very much.
Yeah, you're here.